Welcome back to the pregame. Time now for our talk with Coach Pedersen, brought to you by Liberty Communications. And Coach, head up to North Cedar last Friday night, and what we knew was going to be a knockdown drag-out, and Bears come out on top 42-21.
Well, I was really, the resiliency of this football team is very good. They find ways to win. We didn't play as well as I would have liked in the first half, but, a lot of credit to North Cedar. They may have played very well. So, I want to make sure that we give them a lot of credit. I thought the second half we came back and we did a really good job. We shut them out, and we scored, quite a few points. And so we felt pretty good about the whole thing.
Well, the way the game started, you defer, get your defense out there, you get the football back, you drive down, you score, and then the defense comes out and they score a touchdown right away, 14-0. I mean, you can't draw up a better start to a football game.
No, we've done that particular philosophy my entire coaching career. I kind of like to defer, to be honest with you, and have the defense pin them back in field position and score, and we did that, and that worked out really well for us.
Well, and like you said, North Cedar, they didn't give up. They came back, tied it up, but then we responded, went down and scored 2 more touchdowns. And, it was just that resiliency, and I think both squads showed it, at least for that first half.
There's just no question about it. These kids find a way to win. They didn't panic. They stayed right in there, and they did the things that were necessary to get a lead again, and I thought that was important. And some of the adjustments we made, I think, on defense, especially in the secondary, will help us down the road, and I think it helped us that second half too.
Talk a little bit, not too specific, but what kinds of things did you see that you talked to the guys at halftime to try to change up that defense in the second half?
I think some of the alignment was very poor. I thought that they were reading into the backfield a little bit. As a defensive back, you don't really want to do that. So there's a variety of different things that we talked about. And we simply said, you got to suck it up and get after people. And I thought they listened very well. And they're a very coachable group of kids. They have been all year long. And so I was pleased with that.
When you look in the stat book, which, you can throw those out most times, but Bears only had like 45, 50 more yards than what North Cedar had. But when you look at it, things that jumped out, obviously 2 defensive touchdowns that basically kept us from having the offense out there. But then field position. I mean, the average start, I figured it up. We started at the 42 or 43 yard line on average compared to the 27. That was kick coverage, that was punt coverage, that was a couple of guys on that front line, heads up, kickoffs came right to them. Those front 5 normally aren't used to touching the ball, but they made those plays. We got the ball in great field position.
And we do work on that in practice a lot, and I think that the special teams have been really improved the last 2 to 3 weeks, and they'll continue to improve. But those are things that just don't happen. We spend a lot of time working on it, and Jack Buell, for example, made a nice play on an onside kick, I believe, and fell on the ball. And Berger's done the same thing a few times this year, and so we have some reliable hands out there, and they're getting on the field, and they relish the position that they're in.
Well, like we said, moves us to 6-0. Now we get back home. It's homecoming week. I know that you've gone through this many years. What kinds of things do you do to try to get the kids to enjoy it, but remember that they're still here to try to take care of business on Friday night?
Well, I think for the most part, I think our kids have always done a good job that way. They should enjoy it. It's their homecoming, and I've told them to have fun. But what's on the practice field, we're focused, we're ready to go, and they've followed that to the letter. They've worked hard this week in practice, and they'll work hard the next few practices as well, and they're going to get better. But I want them to have fun. It's part of the process.
I'm looking across the way, Northeast Goose Lake comes in. What are you expecting to see from the Rebels here tonight?
They have a good offensive group. They move the ball very well. They've got good speed. They have good athletes, and they're improving. They won a ball game this year, and I'm impressed with the way those kids play. They play hard. They don't give up, and that's important. And we have to make sure that we take care of ourselves in a game like this and just improve on what we're trying to do and use it as a springboard for the next game, which is Cascade.
That's exciting, and it sounds like, at least unless the forecast changes, it's going to be definitely October football for us, too.
It's supposed to be cold. I know the rain chances are diminishing now. I think only 10% around kickoff time, but it's supposed to be cold, and that's what it's all about. I want to get out, and I want to get in the mud. I want to get cold, and I want the players to relish on that as well. And, one thing what we're very proud of is my coaching staff. I think they've done a great job this year. They've worked hard. So if they don't do something right, I'll let them hear about it, and they take that in a positive way, which is what they need to do if they're going to be on our staff. And we've won 24 of our last 27 games. That's pretty remarkable, quite frankly. And it's because of the coaches that work hard, the assistant coaches, and also the tradition and the hard work that our players are putting in again this year and every year at West Branch.
Hopefully it all translates here tonight for a great homecoming week. Coach, thanks very much for joining us.
Well, thank you very much.
Again, that's Coach Pedersen, presented by Liberty Communications. We'll be back with more of the pregame right after this. This is the Bearcast at westbranchfootball.com.